much. So within the next 3 years, an entire generation of kids is going to be introduced to coding and electronics, probably through their schools, perhaps through maker spaces, but through their schools, it's going to be a core part of the curriculum for K-12. And why is that? That's because we've identified coding as a core literacy skill for the 21st century, right? So this is a situation that my kid is facing, perhaps some of your kids are facing, but here's the problem. Has anyone tried to teach coding to a 5-year-old? Or a 7-year-old, right? Right, it's very difficult, because in a lot of cases, it's not very fun. And it doesn't matter how much you try to tell them over and over again, trust me, this is going to be so much fun. You just have to learn this one thing, and it's so fun after that. Trust me. They will not believe you, right? The problem being that if you want your kid to get this essential literacy skill, then you need to do it in a way that engages them as a kid, right? Simple, right? So what we've done is we've created a product that helps develop those STEM skills. We've done it in a way that is appealing to both boys and girls, which is quite important, but also in a way that, in addition to just developing those STEM skills, it also develops their social and emotional skills and their creativity. And we've done it by creating a little robot friend. This little guy here. It's a little guy. I have to place it here so perhaps the camera can see it. There he is. Hello. And it's a little robot that you can put in your pocket. And if you have more than one robot, they can play with each other. Simple, again, fun. And once they're on the path towards getting their robot and giving their robot a name, and we encourage them to develop out their own robot's character. Start to think about your robot's personality. How do you want it to interact in different situations? They start to learn some of those essential skills that we want to teach them. And as they're developing their own character on our, we have a website and a drag and drop app that tries to make this initial hurdle as easy as possible, and a YouTube channel, of course. As they're starting to define that character and develop that character, they're imbuing it with qualities that they either want to see in themselves or qualities that they see in other people. And this is a really key part towards an engagement strategy towards kids. I've been working with kids in education on an interactive perspective for more than 10 years, and this is something I've been pouring a lot of time and effort into. So let me introduce you to a couple of characters. Well, take this guy down. So this is Spiky. You got that? Spiky. And so today, Spiky is pretending to be a space monster from Mars. And he's got 3 touch-sensitive tentacles. He's got touch sensors on his arms and on his head. And when you give him a touch, he responds. He doesn't really like it very much. But what he really doesn't like is being tickled, and that's when you do a touch like this. Oh, that makes him so angry, so frustrated. And the only thing that can cheer up Spiky is giving him a nice, long hug. That makes him feel a lot better. Now, there's 2 things that make Spiky more frustrated than when you tickle him. And one is when you sneak up behind him and you go, boo. He really, really hates that. His microphone picks up that loud noise, and he gets very frustrated. The other thing is when you shine a bright light in his face. There's already bright lights here, so that part's not going to work, but you can imagine that robot getting absolutely incensed at that bright light. Let me introduce you to another character. This is Kirby. Now, Kirby today is pretending to be a dapper young robot around town, you know, and what Kirby really loves to do is to sing songs. So when you give Kirby a big hug, and so that's when you squeeze his sides here like this, he starts to sing a song. It's charming. Now here's the thing, is that Kirby wants to start his own barbershop quartet. And trust me, it's not so easy when you try to go up to new robots and start that barbershop quartet. But what he does is he's more than willing to teach his favorite song to his friends. So if you give, come on, Kirby. Shh. So when you put Kirby together with his buddy, they start to sing their song together. Now we got one more character I want to introduce you to, and this is Ghosty. Right. This is Ghosty. Now Ghosty is our Viking guardian, and Ghosty has taken time out of protecting Asgard to protect my stuff. Look it up later. To protect my stuff. So I put Ghosty in my drawer with my Nintendo DS or my favorite stuff. I give him a hug on the head, and now he's armed. And if someone opens that drawer to pull out my stuff, he's gonna let off a huge alarm. In fact, he's gonna tell that intruder to get out. But here's the thing, maybe I don't want him to tell the intruder to get out. This is what's cool, is that he has a Wi-Fi chip, and so do his friends. So if I have multiple robots, I can pair them together, and he can silently tell his friend to tell me that someone is messing with my stuff. But in addition to that, if he's connected to the internet, he can send that message over the cloud. Neat, right? Yay, cool. So these are the little robot friends. That's a bit of an overview of the way that we're trying to engage kids about this. We really want to engage their imaginations, engage their creativity, and engage them in a way where they can discover for themselves why coding is cool. Thank you so much.
Questions?
So I love these characters, but I can't help but to notice that some of their functions are actually, to put in short, basic, which I actually like, because I think, are you using these basic functions almost like a metaphor to teach kids about computer engineering?
Yes. I mean, yeah. So, we want to provide not only a basic understanding of coding concepts, but also how you can sense the world with technology, right? It has a small little collection of sensors, and we've designed it in such a way, and I'd be more than happy to engage on the technical side with people, but essentially, you end up programming these in C. And how do you get a kid to go and to start programming them in C? You have to start very, very, very simple. What we want to do is we want to provide that low barrier of entry, but provide no ceiling on virtuosity. It's like walking up to a piano. You can play chopsticks, and you can stop there. I know chopsticks. When I see a piano, chopsticks is my thing. But there's people who take it a little bit further. You can play Mozart. You can play Brahms.
Last question.
Hi. So does your company provide those robots for kids to play with, or is it that your company also teaches them how to code as well? Like, is it kind of like that kind of engagement?
So our model, a model where I personally go out and teach every kid in the world how to code, is not scalable. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to engage people in the education community. Eventually, we want these in schools. But the most important, the people who are doing the tough work right now are people who are setting up maker spaces, who are running tech camps, people who are starting to provide to kids what the school is trying to provide, but school boards, right? It's an obstacle.
So, sorry, just one more. So how long would it take for a kid or someone to program one of those functionalities, right? Because that's what they want to do. Oh, I like it. I want it to do this. And what's like the time frame?
Right. So we have a drag and drop app that gets them started right away. We don't want them to go. We don't want their first experience with this to be a window of code. That is not going to get them excited about it. So we have a drag and drop app that's It's pretty straightforward. They design expressions for the robots using musical notation or something along the lines of musical notation. And then we invite them into tricks. And tricks is our code word for custom code that they can load onto the robot. So if they want to turn their robot into their alarm clock or a toothbrush timer or that security guard trick that I explained earlier, this is where they start to load code onto their robot. And that's where we start the process of introducing them to C.
Thank you.